now tuned into the greatest.
Everyone's level sounds good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we Gucci.
Yeah, man, this is exciting, man. I'm super happy to have my brother on the podcast. This is amazing.
Represent.
Yeah, from the same brother from the same mother.
Look, you can.
ahead,
He has his name on him, so you
Yeah.
can differentiate the two just in case.
Yeah.
Right,
You know
right.
what? Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Let's talk about this first. Tell me, you know the worst thing in the world is going to the grocery store in your chef jacket. That is the worst.
no,
Bro,
never.
I never do it.
No.
Dude. Because sometimes,
Can't.
listen, in my line of work, sometimes it's just best to like grab a couple things from the grocery store because I have a small amount of guests. It's not worth it to get a wholesale. You know, I'm not buying a case of celery. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not going to do anything with the rest of the case. But, dude, I avoid going into the motherfucking store by all means with my chef gear on, man. Like,
No.
avoid at all costs.
You ain't
But
got,
anyway,
you ain't got time for that.
no, hell no.
got time for
And
that.
also, what's funny is when you see people that are still in school or they're coming out of school, they wear that chef jacket proudly. The CIA with the green
Proudly.
medal.
Oh,
And you
without
know
a
what?
doubt.
Everybody that's on here, listen, if you're listening, you're tuning in, do not, once you finish school, do not brag about it, okay? Stop. Do not wear your school chef jacket. Do not go to the new job with your school chef jacket and your freaking toque and your freaking bandana or whatever. I'm telling you right now, it just shows that you're really inexperienced, and that's what I highly advise. And I will also leave one more pro tip here, and then we'll get into this podcast. But do not put school first on your resume. Put your experience first.
Yeah, professional experience first. Yep.
Yes, I've looked at hundreds of resumes at all different levels, and I'm telling you right now, school brainwashes you into putting school first. But no, do not do that. Put your
You're
professional
advertising.
experience-
Yeah, you're advertising for their business essentially.
exactly. So, anyway, okay.
Are we anti culinary school right now? Is that?
I
what's
mean,
going
we're
on?
anti-school. Period.
Listen, I'm not a hater, but like honestly, I'm going to start a new. I saw a video that really touched me, like a couple weeks ago, where this guy paid $140,000 for CIA. You know, he was 17 years old. He got hustled into, and this is what makes me mad.
140.
And I'll be honest. Listen, KC, I'm an asshole. My brother made me look so bad when we were 16 and 17 years old. We'll get into it. Look, this bitch graduated high school and went straight into culinary school. Okay.
I took a year
Right.
off though. I took 1 year off.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
still, I was still, slaving on the stove while he was getting his shit together, and I was like, not even close, bro. I was on, like,
You had
I was
a
still-
different agenda, man.
dude. I was still partying, having fun, but thankfully, I was still cooking. You know what I'm saying? I was the ups and downs. I was still cooking, which was great, and I had my own apartment. But let's start by giving us a little background. So, Jonathan, like in like a 3-minute summary. Let's start from, we'll start from Northern Virginia and then all the way up to your career as a chef and how you started as an executive chef way before anybody else in our, like, it's crazy.
Well, we're actually the only ones in our family who professionally cook. So that's
nice.
that's one. I think we both got into cooking from Food Network, right? We watching the celebrity chefs. You're old now, considered old school. Emeril Lagasse, Bobby Flay,
Emeril.
Tyler Florence, before the Rachel Rays, and Guy Fieri's, before all them. And actually, Brandon, you were the one who kind of piloted it. You were like, "Hey, check this out, man. This is really cool." And so we both knew that we wanted to go to culinary school in high school. We were working in restaurants.
So I want to say a real quick funny story time. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go
Casey and everybody's listening. Listen, there was one time when we were young, we were super young, and we were watching Emerald, and it was late night. It was like 9:30.
Yeah.
And it's funny because our stepfather came down the stairs as quiet as he can. He thought we were watching porno. You know what I'm saying? And it was so funny because he burst in the door and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I remember this was at the Sterling House, Jonathan. He burst in the door and he's like, "You guys are watching cooking?" He's like, "What?" And he swore he thought it was pornography. He literally did, but it was funny because that's when the obsession started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With Emerald.
Love
Yeah.
Emeril.
I mean, and that's what we would lean towards. This is remember when it was cool to have a digital remote, like a TV remote that had the numbers on the screen. That's this is how far we're going back. This is late 90s, early 2000, late 90s, I would say. And so we ended up moving down to Florida. our senior year of high school, we both were working in restaurants. We started in family-owned restaurants. And honestly, like the reason why we started in restaurants is because, we would get in trouble on the weekends, So one of the things my dad would like say, hey, you guys are coming to work with me, so you stay out of trouble. So we would help, just wash dishes, prep, bus tables, host, we were working under the table. And we just loved the excitement of being in a bustling restaurant, hanging out with restaurant people that were just really cool. I got my first job, I'll never forget this, at a country club in Northern Virginia. And, my mom sat with me on the interview, and made me wear like, I remember I was like 15 and she, made me put a tie on and like a shirt and blah, blah, blah. This is in Northern Virginia. But it was my first real job as a busboy. And that's where I learned like, besides working in like a family owned restaurant, this was like where I learned there were systems and, it was everything was shiny. It was all nice. And even though I was busting tables, I would help in the kitchen. So by the time we moved down to Florida, we had like a basis of cooking skills. So we actually, remember Macaroni Grill was our first like professional cooking job where we actually got a paycheck for it. Macaroni Grill. Yeah. It was
nice.
Dude, it was crazy. And I remember like, I'll never forget, we were getting paid like under the table. We were getting paid like $7 an hour, $7.50. I remember they offered us $9.50 an hour. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? That's too much money. And, or maybe it was $10.50. I don't remember, but, it was a big number and not what I was used to. And that's actually our first restaurant that we worked at. We worked there together. And, Brandon, you were working the saute station and I was over in Pizza and Grill or something like that.
Yeah. I remember I was on saute.
Your audio cut out.
Oh, sorry. I was on saute 3.
Yeah. Okay. And,
but in all honesty, listen, I highly recommend for any young chefs out there, please go work with a reputable chef. Please, restaurant group. Do not work in corporate because you learn a whole bunch of bad techniques and shortcuts. And it's not good.
Yeah,
literally not good. Like it's okay if you're an experienced cook and you know the difference between right and wrong. But when you're young, like my brother and I were, and go ahead, I'll let you get into it. But like I learned later down the road that I was doing everything wrong. Go ahead.
Well, especially when you're young like that, you're just like a sponge and you take in everything. And then unfortunately, like the things that you learn stick with you throughout your entire career. So you need to like make the sacrifice and learn from a reputable restaurant group or a very, award-winning chef of some sort. Because if you jump into that corporate world, it's over, man. You're never going to lose. Your first 3 to 5 years is the most important foundation of your career. And that's, honestly, that's what chefs of our caliber look for. So, so like we, just to kind of tighten this up, our first fine dining job was at a steakhouse. And the best part about this story is that the chefs at the steakhouse, it was basically like 2 executive chefs and they were both twins. So they took us under their wings and it was like the twin chefs with the twin cooks, man. And we were, we kind of like developed even more of a passion where, I would say, Brandon, you were you stuck with Ray a little bit more and I kind of hung out with Will a little bit more.
You know what? I've been trying to get a hold of them. Somebody gave me their number. And I reached out, but I never heard a response back. But I heard Ray's voicemail. I heard him on the voicemail. I heard his name. It was his voice.
I'd love to get in touch with them. But they really like kind of took us under the wing, and that's where we learned like the fine dining, steakhouse techniques and things like that. So, from there, I knew I wanted to go to culinary school, graduate high school, took a year off, moved over to the East Coast of Florida, went to the Florida Culinary Florida.
No, you didn't. You went to the Art Institute. Yeah.
Art Institute of Florida. What am I thinking here?
School does not matter.
Honestly, I have, listen, man, if you take one clip from this, I have never been asked for my culinary degree. Not once.
Yeah.
For any of my jobs.
I don't ask.
Not
I don't
once.
ask for,
Not even once. Like maybe the Mandarin Oriental, they asked about it, but I never had to show proof or anything like that during the interview process. So, it's all about experience, right? So, but one of the biggest parts of my career was I linked up with the James Beard award-winning chef, Chef Alan Susser out of Miami. had his own restaurant, and he gave me an opportunity to be a sous chef, which really catapulted my career from being a really good line cook to actually being a chef. So yeah, I mean, then that's where we're at, and now I'm in Philly.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. So like, what's crazy is like, Jonathan, and that's why like Casey and I are friends, because like, we took two different career paths, but like at the same time, what's great is like and I don't know if you know the story, but everybody else does, but I'm just going to tell it because that way it gives some context.
Yeah.
So basically I had posted something and I don't remember the specific dish, but then Casey, he was in my comments and he's like, hey, this would look so much better on this plate. And I'm like, yeah, man, you're so right. Yeah. Because I think what people don't realize is it doesn't matter what level of chef you are or where you come from. Like chefs all have a common denominator. We all are slaves to the industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no matter
100%,
what, you got my respect right off the top. So the funny thing is Casey is the opposite. He's the corporate chef that didn't go to culinary school, but the hard knock life, right? And it's funny because now, he puts the P in petty when it goes to TikTok comments. Like,
Yeah.
he spends every ounce of energy replying to all these motherfucking haters, and he shuts it down. Like, the thing is the problem is like, in the beginning I was like, hey, so you're telling me how to cook this, but okay, and then I would reply like, hey, no, honestly, this is not how you do it. This is the reason why. But it's funny because Casey just be eating these comments up, man, like literally eating these comments up.
Notice that.
And from a professionally trained chef, it's kind of difficult, to kind of explain to the regular person, what we do in the restaurant business.
The psychology behind it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because like, I think it's becoming more prevalent where like these young kids have no idea about cooking. They just see what they see on YouTube and TikTok.
TV.
And I try to tell people, listen, don't pay attention to the fucking stunt food. Okay. Like there are entertainers out there that are making these videos specifically to go viral. Well, we ain't gonna mention no names, Pro Chef Club or whatever the fuck that channel is. That channel is fucking ridiculous.
We're not mentioning names, but here's one.
I just it's crazy because what I tell people and what I am adamant about telling professional chefs is like, yo, make a small video with your credentials, right? Pin that shit to the top of your profile, right? Because the thing is man, like when you have people on the internet that have a big following that are teaching bad technique, dude, it drives me crazy. Yeah. It literally drives me insane.
Yeah, and there's so many eyeballs on it.
Yeah, and listen, I don't mind if like you're doing your spin on your on a pico de gallo. Like I don't care about that, but don't be showing somebody how to butcher a piece of fish. There's a big difference between a fisherman butchering fish and a chef butchering fish. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I went through this battle. I was like, listen, this guy was like, you can't butcher fish, blah blah blah. He's like, I've caught salmon for 10 years, and then he posts a video. And guess how he's butchering this fish? And I'm going to tell you guys because you're gonna wrap your head around it. He's filleting this fish on the deck of the boat. Okay, on the deck of the boat, my guy. Not on top of a cooler. Not on top. And he's literally like
or cutting board or.
It is so gross, man. Like, dude, the way he threw the fillet, like skin side up in the fillet side on the deck of the boat had me in tears. And it's funny because like. It's really not about, and I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm not going for speed. I'm going for more precision. And honestly, like we need each other. Yeah, we need each other. And people were like, well, the fisherman could butcher the fish faster. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But guess what? Who's the end consumer? You, my guy. Do you want to eat something that was off the deck? Do you want to eat something that was off the deck? Because dude, especially with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth and everything, bro, is great. But not to say like, there's anything wrong with that. It's just there's a difference between a home cook, a fisherman. So like when a home cook is like butchering a piece of fish, usually they're just doing like one or two, right? That's it for their own house. Chefs, we're creating for production. And there's a certain way that we do things. Yeah, exactly. There's a certain way we do things, man. And it's like, I've tried to explain this and it's funny because like, even now with the internet and what I was getting back to is like, I want to make a series on my YouTube where I take that CIA book and then my culinary book from Florida Culinary Institute. And I want to like pick and prod and make no, not comparative, but just take the cliff notes from that thick ass literature and like, hey, this is what you're actually going to use in the restaurant business. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I think for us chefs, me, you, and Casey, the thing is we can take a snapshot of what culinary school is about, and I can tell you 75% of that shit doesn't matter. 75%. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I mean, like to be honest, like, you know, not to knock on education, because I think education is a huge part of growth in general. Educating yourself doesn't mean you have to pay for a university. Educating yourself mean, like, back in the day, there was no immense amount of data that there is on Google now. Like, if I want to learn how to make a recipe, there's 400 blog posts on how to make an avocado toast, right? That wasn't a thing back in the day.
Why you got to bring up avocado toast, dog?
Oh, my bad. Oh, that hurt, didn't it? That hurt.
No.
Oh, man.
Yo, hey, it was funny. I posted that video. So after I got off live with you, I just made a clip of me, you know, plating it up, adding an egg or whatever. And it's funny because like 3 people in the comments like, yeah, your brother's was better. And I'm like, damn, okay, all right,
Dude,
okay.
you know what's
I
so
heard
funny?
a little bit.
Dude, you know what's so funny? The you know, on Sunday brunch, I literally had 8. We sold probably like 10 to 12 avocado toast. Everybody, I went, because I was serving tables, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is great, this is great." Then reviews come through today, and somebody says that's the worst avocado toast they've ever had. Was my version of avocado toast. I was like,
Nice.
great.
Well,
just
here's
wonderful.
the thing, man. You're never. Not everybody's going to be happy if you give 10.
No, I know.
If you serve 10 people, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. If you serve 10 people avocado toast, you know, one of them's not going to like it. You know,
Yeah, it's not their thing. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so going back to you know, education in general, like, you know, the home, you know, and here's another thing is that, you know, the home cook will always have these resources, but really what we look at is what we've learned throughout our career, and we apply that high level of, you know, butchery to, you know, recipes, or, you know, just simple as like mise en place, you know, like taking the time to prep your ingredients before you actually start cooking. Like, that's having the patience of building a sauce, you know, like starting in stages, right? Like, you know, how many people, like, personally, I don't even know how to use a crock pot. Like, I know the purpose of it, but I just can't see myself throwing everything in there at once. Like, it's just in my mind, it's not, it doesn't register that way. Like, no, you need to brown your meat first. Like, oh no, you need to saute these onions. You can't just throw raw onions into a soup. Like, what, you know? So
I will. So look, I'll play devil's avocado, and I'm about to post a video. Actually, I have it. I think I'm going to post it today, but I will argue that the vermicular cooking cast iron induction. Have you seen that? The vermicular, it's a Japanese way of cooking. It's called, it's basically like waterless cooking. I do love that, and I think you can kind of mimic that with the crock pot if you're doing something steamed, right? A steamed preparation. But you're right. I agree. Crock pot, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not going to lie, man. I'm doing this air fryer series, man, and I'm like, I am literally like, I am regretting it every video I post
right now. He's like, yes.
I regret every video that I post that immediately just takes off and people love it. I'm like, man, fuck all y'all.
But you know what? But you know what? It's like, once you apply what the air fryer technology is, it makes sense for the home cook. That, like, for the home cook, turning on an oven is a lot of work, right? For us, it's normal. Like, that's, you put on a pot of water to boil before you make pasta. Like, it's a normal thing. But like, to the home cook, to like prepare, say for example, you're doing a recipe that requires, you know, boiling water, preheat your oven, and cooking for a time and temperature, you know, like, a lot of people don't want to deal with all that crap, you know? So I see a lot of these pre-made products that have air fryer recipes. So, you know, the level of interest is there, man. They're super smart to, like, you know, you could do any air fryer recipe in a convection oven, right? But
I think the thing is we all need to stop calling it an air fryer and call it an air baker. I think that's what it is. It's an air baker.
It's a convection. It's a small convection.
I will be honest, man. You put like instead of like, okay, I'll be pan roasting sausage, I think is the best way to have it, right? But in the air fryer, dog, these things come out crispy all around, right? And I'm not opposed to it. I put a fillet of salmon in there, okay, and I'm telling you right now, it was like, you know, literally cut the time in half, and it was a better product. I agree with that. But the thing is I think you're limited to your ability to add, like, it's only for 1 to 2 people that you can make dinner. It's not like something. It's not something that, like, I think is worth the counter space. You know, but here's the thing, man. When you have kids, you know, I have an air fryer. My wife was amped up about it, but she still goes back to the convection oven for the, you know, the dino nuggies and the frozen French fries for the kids. You know, I thought it'd be dope, but the problem is you can only put so much in the basket, right? So it's kind of like, you know, but I will argue that I put raw turkey meatballs in there. I made turkey meatballs. I'll be posting this in the next couple of days, and I really like I really like how they came out. They were all golden brown, delicious on the outside. I swear to God, and still juicy in the middle. And I was like, okay, see, like, so you need something with high fat content on the outside, okay, that can roast properly. Also, I'm not gonna lie, the potato recipe I posted, the diced potato, I went straight in raw, right, and they were crispy, son.
Wow.
They were crispy and delicious. Whereas you put them in the convection oven and you know half of them are going to be soft. Like half of them are going to be soft. They're not going to be crispy and golden brown, delicious on the outside. Now, I will argue that the thing is I'm spoiled and I have a combi oven at work. And that combi oven shits on everything. I don't care.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
dude, 100%.
I mean, you both have combi ovens.
My God.
Just rub it in. Just rub it in. I don't have one.
You're like, what? What'd you just say?
I don't have one. I said just rub it in. I don't have one.
I don't like one.
Hey, look. Hey, Casey, all you got to do is get a spray bottle, okay, and have it next to your oven, and just
got it.
Close
just
the door.
Spray it as I need it.
Well, the thing is, I went down the rabbit hole. So the ones I have at work are the Alto Sham combis, and I'll be honest, I like the Rationale. I prefer the Rationale better, but dude, the direct steam. The only big difference is the direct steam. So with the Rationale combi oven, it has a boiler on the side of the oven where when you push steam, it takes 90 seconds to it takes 90 seconds to a couple minutes to heat up the water. Then it projects steam. With the Alto Sham, you're direct steam, right? So it's like
preloaded.
A freaking it's ready to go. It's hot coming straight out the jump. And I will argue that the heat is so consistent, and plus you can change the humidity. You can also add, if you have bread, there's a water jet button where you can just you can spray water in there. And I'm not gonna lie, the machine is super efficient. But not everybody has
for $25,000.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. If you have 20 grand, 20 some grand.
Yeah. But I swear to God, the next house that I get, like when I build my dream kitchen, I'm putting a combi in. I ain't gonna waste time. With a damn not even gonna waste time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a small one.
Yeah. So so getting back to what were we talking about now? What we were going into? I totally forgot.
We were talking about school and how we were trashing them and how you shouldn't go into debt. So and then
well, the ROI. I think it's just looking at it from an ROI basis. Culinary school had such a boom in the late 90s, early 2000s because of the celebrity chef movement. But like when you have so many resources out there that, will get you good paying jobs for not that much of an upfront cost. Culinary school costs money, man. Like you're paying for food, you're paying for the instructors. It's a business. There's no like public culinary school unless you're going to like tech schools, which are also fine. Like,
or if you're overseas, some will cover the school costs. But Jonathan, I want to touch on that because like the thing is you can honestly agree that most of the curriculums are outdated. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The only thing that is not outdated, and I think that's actually worth it, is baking and pastry. Right. Baking and pastry, learning these techniques is so worth it, man. It was so worth it for me. I mean, I have to admit, like, I think the baking degree was really worth it. But I also had a discount because I'm a minority. So I got lucky. But what I wanted to say is with my YouTube channel, I think I'm going to take it in the direction of where I'm going to just be honest, like 30-second snapshot of what I want to do, what the purpose is. And I want to give this free training. Like I will take you to the promised land because right now, listen, I'm not a instructor. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's my due diligence to like give people the option. Hey, listen, you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be going over this because the thing, what I realize is when I post advanced techniques, I have nothing to refer back to. So people will ask me, hey, chef, how did you do that? And I want to be like, hey, refer back to this.
See that video.
Go see this. It's in my library, basic techniques, right? Because I need to start building that. That resource because that is more important. Like when I'm doing these Granda videos, man, they are so over people's heads. It's ridiculous. Like
it is. It's too multidimensional, but also like when you're building out recipes to have sub recipes and bulk recipes, it's like that, those kind of things, are not, I find myself swapping out a lot of like my homemade sauces, marinades, vinaigrettes with like store-bought items because it's just easier. Correct. Like, and honestly, when people say, hey, what's your best chicken marinade? I'm like, who's it for? You? Or is it for like a party or something or your friends? Grab a bottle of Italian dressing, and add some garlic to it.
Don't mess around.
You know what, Jonathan, you know what my favorite actually, and I don't know where I got this from, but I love, like if it's quick, I just like to take olive oil, citrus of some sort, the juice and all, fresh herbs, and then I like to grate the garlic over the chicken. And then instead of like pan-searing it, if you just get grill marks on it and then toss it in the oven, I'm telling you, I love doing this for meal prep because one, like it goes with anything. You can branch off and make anything you want with it. It's so easy. It literally takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I love that point. And also I wanted to say, like, I would argue that the courses available nowadays for school, right? Like, I hopped on this one. It's called culinary, where it's like all the Spanish chefs, right? Like, awesome, really? Dude. The app Granda.
It's an app, or is it like a YouTube channel?
It's called culinary, and it's basically all the Spanish Michelin star chefs. They have these master classes. I mean, it's awesome, and I think it's like, dude, it's less than. I forgot what I paid for it, but it's like less than $50 for the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
dude,
man. Like,
and they give you the recipes. Yes, it's in subtitles, but dude, for me, it was worth it because I can see what these other chefs are doing. Yeah. Same thing. I'm gonna a shameless plug here. Granda that app is amazing. And what people don't realize is when I was growing up as a chef, I didn't have the resource like that.
Yeah.
We like if we wanted to learn something, we had to go to the books or we had to ask a chef that didn't want to waste any time telling us this technique. And now with everything at the fingertips, the only recommendation that I say is like you want to follow chefs that have put in the work, right? That have the credentials. And unfortunately, like, there's so much information out there that, some of it's bad and some of it's not good. And like, you have some cooks doing some dumb shit that they learned off TikTok. And unfortunately, it might cost them their job. Yeah. I mean, listen, I had somebody wash the risotto rice. Okay. Because TikTok tells them to wash the rice. So they just decided to wash the risotto rice. I'm like, what? I was like, hold up.
Did a double take.
Like, come on, bro. I was like, oh my God. Well, yeah, it is what it is, man. Dude, so what I want to talk about is next I want to go into our cooking show, Jay.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta make this happen, bro. So Casey, Jonathan, and I, what I realize is people are really interested in watching us cook head to head.
I know. Like, I'm telling you, man. Shit.
And I'm trying to tell my brother, like, yo, I know this sounds crazy, but like live streaming is huge. People love to watch other creators, man.
Yeah.
And I just don't have time to it's like my schedule is so packed. And then like, with my work stretch I just worked, man, I'm exhausted, dude. Like Sunday was like, I could barely keep my eyes open for the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, me too. I fell asleep like third quarter. I wasn't having it. It was.
I was working the entire day. So there's no Super Bowl whatsoever.
What were you making? Chicken wings? What'd you have on the menu?
Which on me? No chicken wings. No. Full menu. We had 85 people Sunday. 4 course, and I wanted to die. And I was just like, damn it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bro. When we're talking about like 75, 70, 85. He said this is their busiest time of year. They up to Valentine's Day, pretty much. Because it's made the restaurant is made for like a couple's kind of like special occasion. So it was packed. It was all a bunch of deuces. Just literally like full seating, just pumping them out. I was there till like 11:30.
You know what? We know where the craziest Valentine's Day is freaking Las Vegas, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I believe it.
You have people come out the woodworks, and then they like, if the chicken is more than $15, they freak out.
Oof.
And it's funny. It's
$20 chicken Caesar salad.
Bro, we did a prefix menu, and it's funny because you can see all these like young couples that are like, literally going out for a first date, and they have never been to a restaurant like this, and it's crazy because like I could imagine now. Jonathan, were you busy on Valentine's Day or no?
Yeah, we were, but it was mostly brunch business, so we got crushed for brunch because we had about 200 checkouts Sunday. So
oh damn.
Yeah,
yo, fuck brunch. Can I just say that? Like, as much as I am a morning person, fuck brunch. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's a different.
Yeah, because like you just get murdered, son.
Yeah, dude.
And then like the thing is like I used to wear my I used to have these socks that called it said bacon all the way up and down. It says bacon. I used to wear I call them my brunch socks. And dude, that's the problem with being in hotels, man. Like hotels is just ruthless, man. Like. It's tough. It's tough because everybody likes their eggs different, man. And it's like with brunch, you have to have those lunch items as well.
You have
to have a good system,
right? And it's like it's also there's so much more things that are involved with brunch. It's like with coffee service, you need cream, sugars, hot sauce with this, ketchup with that. Like everything needs garnishes, and like it's a lot of moving parts. So if you're short, most of the reason why we hate brunch is because typically we're short staffed on those days. It's like You need a lot
Of
more
course.
staff to execute a service that has less sales than your typical dinner service with a check average of $50 versus brunch, which check average is anywhere from $20 to $30. So more work, less reward, if you will.
Yeah. Doug, can we talk about the Super Bowl real quick? Listen, I got to be honest, man. You know what's crazy? What?
That halftime show was
Go ahead.
lit, though, man.
Yeah,
I know, but
I
why
was
is
about to say
Eminem?
that
Why did
halftime show
Eminem
was
only
nice.
play one song, bro? He played like a song and a half. I was pissed, dude.
Well,
I was
because
like,
everybody
dude.
had like a little song and a half, pretty much, right? Everybody had a song and a half.
Yeah.
I just
Everybody had
rewatched
like,
it, by the way,
2 minutes.
like yesterday.
How
Yeah.
about all the memes of 50 Cent?
Oh,
my
man.
goodness. Dude,
They lit him up, boy. Hey.
Oh my god.
Yo.
They're like 50 Cent look like a whole dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny,
The
man.
homie is what, 40 something
46.
now ish?
He's 46.
Yeah, he looks great for 46, dude. Like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
try
I mean,
saying that
obviously-
in front of his face.
Yeah, he
I
put
thought that
on
was
some weight,
hilarious.
but, you know, other than that, man, he's looking great.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. I just, I don't agree. Like, and this is, I don't want to get into the whole COVID nightmare, but like, it's just crazy to me how like the whole time LA is crying because they're in a state of emergency, blah blah blah, the homelessness, this, and then they bring the biggest event to Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's just, I
wonder what they did with all the bombs, though, like all the people on the streets.
What do you mean? They freaking sent them. They sent them to the outskirts, bro. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? Like, yeah, they packed them up, put them in hospital. They did everything. But what I'm saying is, it's so counter. Like, it's just, like, I get it, but like at the same time, it's just like because they're shutting restaurant. They give all of these rules and regulations for restaurants, but then all of a sudden you're gonna have this the biggest event in the United States. Like,
Yeah. One of the biggest. Yeah.
that just like it doesn't register with me when when I see how much restaurants have suffered because.
Yeah.
They have to be outside. They have to, they can't be outside. Like, dude,
Do you guys require vaccinations over there? Vaccination cards?
So in LA and also in San Francisco and a couple other places. But like, I gotta be honest, man. It's just, it's like I love and I hate California in the same sentence. You know what I mean? Like, I love what California has to offer as far as like places to go. The food is amazing, but like, bro, being regulated like this is absolutely ridiculous. And it's just like so wishy-washy, man. It's like I see other people not having to wear a mask. Do you have to wear a mask inside, Jonathan, or no?
Yeah.
Like in the kitchen?
Still mandatory. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like we have to wear a mask everywhere, man. Like
We
the
don't
thing is,
enforce it. Like, you can come into the restaurant without a mask on. You do have to show proof of vaccination, but we don't enforce mask policy anymore. But all the employees do have to wear a mask.
I know, but this is what makes it weird. Okay, good example. I went to a comedy club, right, in San Jose, and I have my mask on. But once you sit down, you can take your mask off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, what's the purpose?
And I'm like, okay. But then if I want to go to the bathroom, I got to put my mask on to go to the bathroom. But like once I sit down, I can have my mask. Like, I'm just like, this is so weird. And then of course, all the employees are wearing masks, so you can't hear a motherfucking word they're saying.
That's the biggest thing, man. Like, and I think, hopefully, the city of Philadelphia is treated differently than like the suburbs and stuff like that. So, only in the city of Philadelphia are the mask mandates enforced. And then also requiring vaccination cards are enforced. And it's because of the overall airflow in all of these small places is not that great. So the possible spread of COVID is a lot higher. The risk is higher. So that's why they just do it for the city of Philadelphia. But, hopefully it's starting to fade out a little bit. So hopefully, we'll be coming out on the positive side of all this.
I know, man. It's so hard to like. It's like the thing is I don't like. For me, I don't really mind. Like, I don't really care. It's just I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable if I'm not wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Me
the
too.
only thing.
Me too, man.
But, it's like. Listen, I just don't want somebody else to feel uncomfortable. But I did remember when they lifted the mask mandate, and it's crazy. I went into Safeway without a mask, and I was just like, dude, this feels so weird.
You feel like naked, right? No, you feel like naked.
Yeah, I'm
You're
like, dude, this is. I feel like I'm breaking the law, but I got to be honest, man. I have to wear an N95 mask at work, and like it's, bro, that should be.
Yeah, those
changing.
are rough, man. When I was working with World Central Kitchen, like when the pandemic was happening, I was wearing an N95, and I was working like 15 hours a day. And by the end of the day, I would take the mask off, and I would still feel like the mask was still on. That's like how much it imprinted on my face. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, how about this, man? I went to Costco yesterday. So I take my son to Costco to get the hot dog and the piece of pizza. It's really, he loves it, man. And it's funny because like this guy had on not only the medical mask, like the blue one, and then he had on N95 1 and N95 2. This fucking guy removes his mask to sneeze into his raw hand.
Oh wow!
Oh,
And then does this number. And and the crazy thing is like, yes, we're outside, but I'm like, dude. And then it's funny because like to see the people around him, like just complete shock. Like it was crazy, man. We were all sitting in line too, and it's like, damn, now if he puts his credit card in that machine, I'm gonna freak out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I think the thing is like, he would have been better off just sneezing in his sleeve or in his. But like people that remove the mask to
sneeze in a fucking mask. That's what the fuck is for. Like I don't.
Well, obviously you don't want to taste your own saliva and you know.
Well, I mean,
like, dude,
it's either that or you spread the fucking germs. You know.
I know, but it was just gross how he did it, man. It was just really like nasty. Like I'll be honest, I had to sneeze in Costco. I was inside, and bro, I walked all the way back to the fucking bottled water, son, into the corner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
bro?
Because
you don't know what they say now. They say you gotta. Now you got to fart to cover your sneeze versus back in the day you would sneeze to cover your fart. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, straight up. Yeah, it's funny because like it's funny because like I'm like, dude, chuck into the back and I couldn't hold it, and then finally I'm just like, I sneezed in my shirt like all over the back, make sure nobody see me. But yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully this gets resolved, man. I'm ready to move on with life, man, and I can't let this shit consume me anymore.
Yeah, well, I think the impact in general that it's had on restaurants, and think about all the businesses that just weren't able to survive and are still trying to survive.
Closed.
PPP loans or not, like yes, that there was a lot of money dumped into PPP loans. A lot of people took advantage of it. A lot of people actually really needed it. But now I don't know, man. I think the next 3 years for restaurants is going to be very, very tough. And I think only the strongest will survive, but also I think that there needs to be a lot more awareness, just in general on how much, cooks get paid, the back of the house get paid, how much people are tipping, like I think there's going to be a huge, eye opener for all of this, and because for some, I see, especially like on TikTok, I see all these comments like, oh, well, the business should be paying, a server's salary. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, and I worked in St. Lucia where we paid salaries for the servers. Their level of attention to detail, they don't care because they already got their money. They're getting paid a set rate. So whether they give you great service or bad service, they're still getting paid exactly the same because the service charge is already included in the bill. And then it's a point system. So, it's not that much better. Like if you want an awesome, memorable experience, I think it's better to be able to tip the server directly. And a lot of people will say like, oh, well, I'm not tipping on delivery orders. Like you're never, there's going to come a point where you're never going to get that order. Like it's just going to sit at the restaurant. Like nobody's going to pick it up.
You know what? I gotta admit. Listen. I'll be honest. When I'm at work and I have to get like DoorDash or if I have to get something like Instacart, I'll be honest, man. I leave 20 right off the top. Sometimes 25 if it's a big order. Like
percent, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 25%.
I agree.
So like dude, and let me tell you something. Instacart has gotten so much better. Like when I refused to use Instacart in the beginning, it was just like it's trash. You don't get what you want. Like they don't pick the product properly. Yeah. But now I literally have like 2 or 3 shoppers that shop for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, and like they'll even answer. They're like, "Hey, what's up, chef? What you need?" Like, what I like about Instacart is you can communicate with them while they're shopping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And share pictures and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the best part about it is like, hey, it's like, time is your biggest asset. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like sometimes when I'm shooting content, like I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'll place my order the night before for Instacart for the next day and boom, it's at my doorstep and I could just right away start cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like for content. And yes, I still pay a little bit extra, but that's for the service. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think, and I also think like that's what, where I'm trying to get at is like, there's all these extra services now that, you're paying somebody to do something for you. And people take it with a grain of salt. Like, for example, even when you're in a restaurant, I even though your service is bad, and don't get me wrong, I understand 100%, but I never think there's a point in time where you should not leave a tip. Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Even, and listen, people might hate me for this, but you never know what somebody else is going through, right?
And sometimes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and also like if you are not going to tip, then you should really think about, why you're going out to eat. If you want to immediately, because unfortunately that's what gets taken off first, right? Like everybody's okay with paying taxes, but then when it comes to a tip, everybody's all like, wishy-washy. Sometimes they'll leave with 0 or 10% or less than 10%. If it's bad service, then you leave anywhere from 5 to 10%. Like I'm personally, because I work in the business, I don't leave anything less than 20%, and I tip way more if it's an awesome experience. Whether or not it was bad service or not, usually people make mistakes, but I think there's going to be a huge, increase in, like, you're already seeing it. Like, I don't know if you guys have been out to eat, but like menu prices everywhere are going up. Cost of food is up 25%, man. Like people don't understand.
You know what I wanted to mention? Sorry. So like in what people are expecting, it's just not reality, right? So they're going to a motherfucking diner, okay?
Right.
And expecting to be treated like they're at the Ritz-Carlton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you need to like really take a snapshot. Here's a good example. We went to a diner on Sunday, family time, right? Wife wanted to sit outside, and I was just like, damn. So our server has to come all the way out of her section to come, take care of us outside. Thankfully, a couple of the tables sat out there. But what I was getting at is like, this lady was in her late 70s for sure.
Yeah.
Right. She was hustling, bro, carrying 4 or 5 plates. And I had so much respect. Now, here's the thing. What people don't realize is sometimes that server gets oversat. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
or back to back, double sat, triple sat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the regular consumer doesn't understand this. So instead of having 1 to 2 tables where you can take really good care of them, you have 6 now, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. People are impatient. They think of like a drive-through, right? Like they think they should have service within a couple minutes, right? And it's like, it's crazy because like, so for me, I mean, our check was like, and I'm not bragging or anything, but our check was like $60. We left a $50 bill, right? Because I think it was, I think it was pooled tips. I'm not really sure, but they were all working together. But like for me, it was just like, I understand, like, yo, she didn't bring me the ketchup or the salt or something. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, plus listen, I want to tell everybody out there, if you have kids, you need to leave extra. Okay. If you have children, for the love of God,
please
leave extra. Okay, please, because kids make a mess. Kids are loud. They're obnoxious. And it is what it is. And that's why I was kind of actually happy we sat outside because, my kids talk on volume 10. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But the thing is I don't want to be the fathers like constantly telling them to be quiet and shut up and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I think, it's really important to, just take in consideration when you're going out, like the restaurant industry is struggling.
Yeah. Like nobody, like there's no restaurant right now that is back to where it used to be in its prime time.
Yeah.
Everybody is still trying, like, and people are going out and dining and thinking everything's hunky dory, but like behind the scenes, food costs is going up. You have less people in the workforce because, everybody's realizing that, hey, I can get paid more through DoorDash, Uber Eats by delivering food and having my own schedule. Where in a restaurant business, you can't have your own schedule. Like you can't straight up. Oh, you want Friday, Saturday night off? Hell no, that's never going to happen. And now that is a value driven proposition that restaurants need to have, is that, that weekends off Monday through Friday. If you work Monday through Wednesday, you're not making any money as a server. You're not making nothing.
Exactly. It's funny. It's funny you say that because in Europe they've started with the 4-day work week, right? Yeah. This has been taken over, and I couldn't agree more, man. Like I have 100%. I have my work week is like, it's kind of like 2 days on, 2 days off is what our standard is. And I got to be honest, man, it's awesome. It is awesome. And like, I work 5 days back to back. And that's the thing. I'm even short staffed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing way more than like, and I got to be honest, like the thing is like, I'm getting stretched to the freaking, ends of the earth. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not the type of person to cry about it. You got to be about it. And it's tough, but like, yeah, that's why, like, Jonathan, I'll be honest, man, like, like my dreams of like opening a restaurant, like a brick and mortar restaurant of like, that says, the twins on the outside. Bro, I wouldn't even dare. Could you imagine staffing that place? Could you imagine building up the capital? And, and then here's the thing. Then you have to say, hey, don't worry, I'll have your money back in 2 to 5 years. Bitch.
Yeah, okay.
Please. Yeah, exactly. Like anybody that comes to me with like, hey, I want to open a restaurant, I want to like cash out my 401k or some stupid shit, I'm like immediately no, like that's the biggest way you're going to lose your money. And I would say do not open a restaurant, at all, because it's just a money guzzler, man. Like people don't understand when they go to sit down at a restaurant, how much it costs to get that plate to you, how much does it cost to get those beverages and that cocktail and, beer, wine, whatever. It's not just like a turnkey operation. It's just not, it's not like a digital business or e-commerce or anything like that. It's a completely different world.
So it's funny you say that, because like, bro, I was just having this conversation with one of my influencer friends who has, he has like 4 million on TikTok, and he's pumping, dude. And he's trying to figure out kind of where to put his money and have a business on the side. And it's funny because he's like, I don't think I want to do something elaborate. I want to do like poke, right? Where you just have one
Something
station
simple
to go. Right. And I'm like, yes, that is the thought. Like, that's what you need to think about. Something to go. You don't have to speak to anybody. It's delivery only. Yes, I'm about that. But if you want to open up a fine dining restaurant right now, you are batting at a zero. You're batting 100. Like it is a needle in a haystack that you're going to be successful. Seriously. And that's why, like, it's funny because there's a restaurant in Chicago. It's called ESME, ESME, Jenner Tomaska. He was the ex-Next chef. He has 2 investors. Right. And it's funny because I was just talking to my chef friend about it. And I was like, dude, he's like, that is ballsy, man. Like, that is ball. He's a full staff, full restaurant. So I'm assuming that he has a real estate and a lawyer who are the investors. I'm praying to God that the real estate investor owns the shit straight out, right? Owns the building. Yeah. And just, because
that's the best way. If you have somebody who owns the building where you're not paying a fat mortgage or fat rent.
Yep.
That's the best way. But that's also why the ghost kitchen model, came into play, because you can get a concept up and running and make revenue with very low upfront costs. I mean, I started 3 ghost kitchen concepts, and I ended up with 8, because the more I created, the more streams of revenue, the more exposure, and it's why all the corporations are doing it. All your Applebee's, your Denny's, dude, Chuck E. Cheese has a ghost kitchen. Like, it's like, because it's the one way to create another stream of revenue without any extra added cost,
And the worst part about it is, for motherfuckers like me and you, it makes it impossible, because they just have the deepest pockets that are never ending. You know what I mean? Yeah. These corporations, I'm sorry, but like, they're laughing during COVID. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, McDonald's, all these, it's easy for them to pivot. It's easy.
Yeah. And that's another thing when people compare, like, I can get this at, McDonald's. I can get this burger. You have a burger on the menu. My burger on the menu is $18, right? So I get it a lot. Hey man, I can get a burger at Five Guys for $10, or I can get a burger at McDonald's for like. Do you understand that it's not food? It's like, it's not. McDonald's is not real food. Like, this is a sustainably sourced. It's a local brioche bun. It's 100% beef, never frozen, coming from good cuts, premium cuts of the cow. Homemade fried. Like, it's hard to explain that when you have these fast casual concepts like your Chipotle, like your Five Guys, like your Panera Bread, that have streamlined the process, and take shortcuts. Like, if everybody knew that broccoli, like, listen, the cheddar and broccoli soup at Panera Bread is amazing. My kid loves it, but if everybody knew that came in a frozen state in a bag that they just reheat, it's like, for consistency, I understand that, but like, I can make you a broccoli and cheese soup that's not going to cost $2.99, right? It's going to be fresh ingredients made within hours. But it's not going to be $2.99. It's probably going to be like $7 or $8, So it's really, it's hard, this day and age.
So it's funny because like Casey's like trying to build his ramen empire.
Yeah, there you go.
we're just crushing his soul right now. But listen.
No crushing at all, bro.
Jonathan,
no crushing at all. I have this packed.
How did you get business credit off the jump while we're on it? Because Casey's having a rough time getting business credit. But I remember like it was hard for me too with our drop shipping store. So what's your advice for getting business credit right off the jump?
Yeah, business credit. So you want to all right, number one, you got to create like an LLC or an entity, and then you go to the bank, create a business bank account, and then you have to basically create accounts that have a net 30-day term. So use like Uline is one of them. I forgot what the other ones are, but get like with Uline, and then they'll put you on 30-day terms. Make sure you order basic stuff. They have a bunch of stuff, so you can even order like garbage bags for your house or whatever. I ordered like containers, bags, like all the stuff I needed for the restaurant, to go containers, these kind of things. And then once you have like 6 months of credit build up, minimum 6 months, I would say a year is better. Then you can go and apply for a business credit card, or a business line of credit. I would do a business credit card because it's a little bit more realistic. If you get like a business line of credit, they're probably only going to they'll give you more money, but it's more you have to pay back. With a business credit card, it's like you have my limit, just saying, is like $15,000, which I know at the end of the day, if my business goes south, I can still pay off that debt. Even though I don't have to, like I can still write it off and say like, this is a business loss and I can provide the financials and yada, yada. But that's pretty much how I did it.
Yeah. So then you just need to build up the credit first.
Yeah, you got to build up business credit. So once you have your EIN number, you apply for, or you get your business, have your EIN number attached to a business banking account, and then make payments from that account and keep it super clean. So anything that you purchase or any net terms are connected to that bank account. You're paying them from that bank account.
Mm-hmm. I'll bring my ramen down. I still got to come down to your spot anyway, just to try to sell. But I forgot to link it to you. You're one of the other person that I forgot to give the name to. But I'll send it to you and just check out the logistics of it. Because I think
it's such a good idea, Casey.
Yeah, like I know I can pump out like 3 or 4 ramens in about 5 minutes, just like this. For it to go to, it's a to-go business model, the one I'm running. Yeah. And I think it's gonna pop off because like right here by me, there's nobody doing this concept at all. Like no one. Yeah. Any of the ramen shops too are trash.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, just saying, Chipotle started in the middle of nowhere. Just to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ramen competition in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Like there's a bunch of ramen shops, but there's only a few good ones. So I think it's a great opportunity, man. Just to come and see what other people do in this area.
Yeah. No, definitely will.
There's some great ramen in Philly too, man. There's a place, if you ever come here, you got to go to Hero Ramen. They use.
Hey, let me tell both of y'all motherfuckers something. There's no better ramen than fucking Los Angeles and San Francisco.
No, that's true. I mean,
arguably LA because.
I don't know.
Go ahead. Tell me New York. Go
Chinatown.
ahead.
Yeah, New York, dude. There's some really great. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. You got Momofuku. Come on, man. Stop playing. But
but here, let's talk about that because look, Momofuku is. Go ahead.
I would tell you for the $10 to $14 price point, LA had some of the best fucking ramen I've ever had. Mm-hmm. But in New York, if you want to spend $17, $22, it is way better, and I will say that there's this place here called Hero Ramen. They only use Karabuto pork bones, cash only. Like you walk in there, nobody says anything to you. They might have a server on, and it's like this one chick in the kitchen with her assistant, and she's just banging out ramen all night, man. And it's very like you order off the menu, you circle what you want. It's really fucking good. Like to the point where I was like, if I ever do ramen at my restaurant, I'm gonna buy the broth from her, and then and I think it's her grandfather's or something. Yeah, because it was really good. And they only use Karabuto pork bones. They don't use that cheap shit. Yeah.
Commercial pork. There's a difference. Yeah. You can taste the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Very different. Yeah. We got to wrap it up.
That shit was like lip gloss, bro, on your lips, man.
It's
good.
Like again, I'm sourcing from. Well, I'll tell you all about it offline, but like Berkshire pork is where I'm using it. The stuff. But anyway, as if for everybody, I'll make sure Jonathan's links is down below. I know we got to kind of wrap it up, but I'll make sure that you guys are differentiated because I know. I thank you for wearing different colored shirts and having a name on.
I brought my name tag.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Casey? For the next podcast, we don't have to talk about it now. But like, can we get the like maybe the @ Is there
the names on it?
The @ in the corner, like
like our names on it. I think I can.
Yeah, like our @ like me @ Chef Authorized. Blah, 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 for our next ones. We'll figure it out. Okay, cool.
We'll figure it out.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate
you.
Thank you very much.
We out, people.
Signing out.